Hi, I'm Marjorie Drucker, chef of the New England Soup Factory, and our mission today is the ultimate corn chowder. Usually corn chowder has taken a smaller billing because in New England everything is about the clam chowder. But today the corn chowder is going to take the top billing. Right now I'm just peeling a little bit of fresh corn, and when you buy fresh corn it's really important to use it as quickly as possible because corn tends to convert. The sugar will tend to convert to a starch, and that's sometimes when you get a chalky tasting piece of corn. To start this soup, we're actually going to make what we call a corn stock. It's not the stock of corn, but the actual chicken stock, where we're going to steep beautiful corn cobs inside. In here I have 10 cups of homemade chicken stock. I am going to throw all of these corn cobs, and what's interesting about these corn cobs is that encased in here is this beautiful liquidy milk. It's sweet and rich and tasty, and it's going to take our chicken stock and transform it into this sweet and lovely stock, and it's going to make our soup even more extra special. So now the corn cobs are in the stock. We're going to bring it to a boil, and we're going to simmer it for about 25 minutes, and then we will have lovely essence of corn. We're going to start with 1 stick of butter. Yes, you heard me, 1 stick of butter. But that's what corn chowder is. It's buttery, it's sugary, it's creamy, it's thick. I've cut some Vidalia onion. Of course, you could use Spanish onion, you could even use red onion. I just like to use Vidalia onions this time of year. So into my butter, I'm going to add my chopped Vidalia onions and 2 stalks of celery and minced small pieces. And that's really the combination in chowder, our onions and celery. So we're just going to stir this around, and I'm going to add a nice fresh clove of garlic. So I'm just going to pop off the skin. So I'm going to take my microplane, and I'm just going to grate in some of this delicious, strong garlic. Okay, so now it's time to talk potatoes. What kind of potatoes do you use in a chowder? I personally like to use a Yukon Gold because it's thick and buttery and starchy. And this is what it looks like, also known as a yellow fin potato. But you'll find that some potatoes have more water content and they'll tend to disintegrate in a chowder. So that's why we're using a really sturdy, thick potato. We're going to add about 6 peeled, and you'll see I cut these into nice big chunks. And we're going to saute these potatoes in with our onions and celery and garlic, and we're going to cook them an additional 5 minutes, kind of get them open and aromatic, and then at that point we're going to get ready to add our corn stock. Our corn stock is boiling away, and now it's time to remove the corn cobs from our stock. And so we're just going to very easily take these out, and at this point you can discard them. And it makes a big difference into your corn chowder to create this corn stock, because you'll really be able to taste the true essence of the sweet summer corn. So now we are ready to add our corn stock. I'm just going to turn it off, and we're going to add it to our potatoes. Okay, and we're just going to let those cook until the potatoes are just perfectly tender. Okay, we're going to check our potatoes and make sure that they're nice and tender. So I'm just going to kind of give it a quick feel, and I can feel that they're just on their way. And about 5 minutes before they're really fully cooked is when I'm going to add in all this fresh corn. So again, this came off of 10 cobs of corn. And we want to be really careful not to overcook the corn, because we want it to still have a spring in its step. So we're just going to cook it about 5 to 7 minutes, and then we'll finish it with our cream and thicken it and season it, and it will be gorgeous. Okay, we're just about at the finishing stages. This is when I like to add some fresh herbs and fresh green onions. These again are homegrown scallions, and they're nice because they're tender and they're small and they cook very quickly. So that's why I tend to add green onions last, because I want them to be a little bit crunchy. So we're going to take our scallions, add it right into our pot of chowder. We're going to add some fresh parsley. We're going to season it with a little bit of celery salt, some freshly ground black pepper, some sea salt. So we have 2 cups of heavy cream, and we're going to add some cornstarch. The reason why is we want our chowder to be really thick. Not too thick, but thick enough so that, the chowder really holds on a spoon well. You always have to dissolve cornstarch into a cold liquid. So we're going to add our cream and cornstarch, and we're going to wait until the cornstarch does its activation thing and thickens our chowder. At this point, we're going to make a beautiful garnish, a little succotash. We're going to use some fava beans and some kernels of the fresh sweet corn, and we're going to top our chowder with this little fava bean corn succotash. So I'm just heating up a little saute pan, and I'm going to add a little bit of olive oil. Get it nice and hot. While the pan is getting a little hot, I'm looking at my chowder. Do you see the consistency? See how we're just getting this ultimate thick, creamy, and rich chowder? I am so excited. And we're going to do our finishing touches. About 6 dashes of Tabasco sauce, about 6 dashes of Worcestershire sauce. Give it a mix. And at this point, I kind of like to let the soup rest for about 5 or 10 minutes before I really call it done, because I just want to kind of have it mingle together. Our pan is nice and hot and ready for our succotash. Hear that wonderful sizzle? We're just going to saute these until they're nice and just lightly tender. We're going to kick it up and make it look a little bit more special with our succotash. So we're just going to garnish it very lightly with a spoonful of sweet corn and fava bean succotash. And what would corn chowder be without a little bit of crispy bacon? So we have a little applewood smoked bacon. Maybe just a little hit of parsley. And I have done my job. Here we go. Here is our ultimate corn chowder.